Hey y'all, welcome back to Standing with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Guess what I just found on YouTube? Good Burger. Yes, I am watching it. I just turned it on. I feel like I want to do a little bit of something right now. I think it's important to talk about the dark night of the soul because I think the collective is really going through that. Also wanted to just come back quick. Those story times took up a lot today, and I hope they help someone. Oh, that's a really cool banana lamp that he has. If you are not from the 90s, Good Burger is a show with Keenan and Kel, and you should watch it. It's free on YouTube. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's why we love it so much. Keenan and Kel they were on All That, right? Alright. I just started a video about the Dark Night of the Soul. If you're wondering what that is, or if you're going through it and you need some support, Dark Night of the Soul is the process of taking inventory through your negative or darker aspects, which are feelings, behaviors, things that you know you shouldn't be doing, but you do anyway. What is that? It's an interesting light ray. And there's a lot of different ways you can go support yourself through Dark Night of the Soul. The first and foremost is don't run. Don't run from what it is that is asking for your light and attention. A lot of the times it can be traumas or experiences that others put on us. So it is a process of meeting your darkness, whether it was self-imposed or something that others did to you that kind of sorry, some of these cards are facing the wrong way, so I'm taking those as the ones that we need right now. And what do you know? The Dark Night. Some people refer to it as night, like in shining armor. I'm not gonna lie, I always thought that too when I went through it. But you gotta be your own knight. Alright. Shadow side, moon. Think of the moon to be gentle with yourselves. The moon cycles through. Sometimes there's no moon at all. Sometimes there's a full fucking moon. Chemistry, passion. That may be word. Motivating force for why you want to go through a Dark Night of the Soul. Twin Flames is here. We're not reading on that right now, but it came out. Know that you are being protected. If you are a person who's doing generational curse breaking in addition to your own shadow work, your ancestors are so grateful because it takes a very strong individual to not only release the shackles of your own shadows, the things that made you feel bad, but to then go on and do that for your lineage as well, is incredible. I applaud you. Make sure through this process that you take care of yourself. Psychosis is a thing. Spiritual psychosis especially is something that can come out of doing these things if you are not taking care of yourself. I highly, highly, highly advise journaling to get it out, to get it on paper. Or you could type it. However you prefer. You could make videos as well. I mean, we are in the age of Aquarius, so you don't just have to journal. Whatever feels good. But shadow work is the process of taking inventory, right? The daily decolonizing prompts that I did, the first part of those before we started doing specific systems, are also shadow work prompts. I feel like, especially for people with colonial lineage who are trying to break the cycles within their family lineage, that shadow work and decolonizing are the same thing. And I also want to say that because of colonization, there are people who are not of colonial lineage, but who are victims of, or whose lineage or ancestors are victims of colonizers, the colonizing behavior, and that is also something that you can alleviate and heal for your ancestors through going through excuse me, dark night of the soul. Travel, messages, communication. Mercury retrograde's coming up, which is just going to add a little bit of spice to the process. It's important to forgive yourself for whatever it is that does come up while you are in your dark night of the soul. And a lot of the times, you have already consciously or subconsciously reflected projections on others that are really your own shadow. And that is process of shadow work, right? Understanding when you were irritated with someone, people, like if you don't like a group of people for some unknown reason, for instance, or you have biases or whatever, projections and reflection. Whew. Great question to ask yourself when you feel yourself in the vicinity of someone that irritates you is, why am I irritated? And usually it's because of something that you yourself haven't cleared out, right? Being honest about it is really important. Expressing the truth that is your own, right? And that is going to make sure that you don't move forward with this toxicity, right? Understand that doing shadow work, going through dark night of the soul, is going to bring in new growth, new life. Those are all the ones that came out. Looks like a pretty solid situation. The love situation, I mean, maybe that's why you're going through a dark night of the soul, whether you have cultural differences or just maturity differences or whatever. The dark night of the soul is not something to be feared. Shadow is not something to be feared. It's something to be revered. Honestly, it's a portion of you that you have been conditioned to believe is wrong, bad, evil, whatever the word. But ultimately, before that word is the part of you, right? And so when you truly believe and know that you know, I don't think that any of us are really, well, that's not true. There are a lot of people who are bad, right? That just want to be bad. They know they're rude. They know they're dicks. They, you know, carry themselves that way. But if you're on this channel, you know that you're not inherently bad. You are hurt. People have hurt you. And at times that hurt that you have had done to you has caused you to act on others. Dark night of the soul is an acknowledgement of those things, right? An acknowledgement of pain and how that pain made you act. And it's not something that you need to be alone in. There's a lot of people who have gone through dark nights of the soul, myself included, several times. And I just wanted to get on here because I think I've mentioned it a lot. Maybe we've talked about it in depth, but I don't remember doing a specific conversation on shadow work or dark night of the soul. I would say because they call it the dark night of the soul, when you are going through it, keep very close to your heart the things that you absolutely love about yourself. I would start there. Before you start taking your inventory of the bad, I would make a list and affirmations of things that you absolutely love and adore about yourself, because that's going to make it a lot easier to shine light on the dark, you know? So I hope that makes sense. If you need any more support, let me know. But like, you don't want to hit rock bottom through this process. The whole process is to integrate, to balance. So if you start with the things that you already like about yourself, not in an egotistical way, right? There has to be balance as well. But then you're going to be able to at least shine light on the things that, you know, let me give you an example. I'm very kind, I'm very nurturing, but I also have a short fucking temper, right? And I know that anger stems from the feeling of knowing that you deserve better, right? Because I nurture everyone else, I also deserve that nurture, right? That compassion that I give, I deserve too. And my temper stems from a place of understanding that I'm not receiving that. Not that that's anyone else's problem, but I'm just giving you an example. The dark night of the soul is the contradiction of self. The light, the dark, the good, the bad, the integration. Did I just say that? It's not something that needs to be feared. It's definitely not something you should run away from. That's only going to create more shadow, more burden on you if you are being called to go through it. And I want to also make it very clear that this is not a one night thing, as the title would say. It is a process that is unique to each their own, depending on your age, depending upon your life experience, depending upon your trauma, depending upon your, you know, everything. So don't feel like it's, oh, I'm just going to do this for one night and then be all done. It is a process. It is something that you will find more you'll come out understanding yourself better. And when you understand yourself better, you have a lot of power. And when you have a lot of power, other people don't have power over you. Take it for what it is. Again, remember the yin yang, remember dark and light, remember that balance is a very important part of life, right? It's just a balance. It's a contradiction. Summer, winter, fall, spring, right? And within that, the directions as well. Whatever helps you. I like to draw charts and stuff, so fuck around with that. Whatever cultural practices you have in your lineage to support this process, this is the process of coming into consciousness. And remember, the power you have when you own your own flaws and no one can say shit to you because you already know, you're already aware, and you've already integrated it, and you know that that's part of your power, is absolutely incredible. All right, it will support you living the life of your dreams. It will support you being able to stand very tall, very proud on your own 2 feet and not worry about a goddamn thing, because you know that you have done the work. You know. And with that self-awareness too, I've just glanced at these. You're gonna know when other people are acting out of that hurt space too. And you're gonna just be like, okay. It's a very, very powerful thing to be able to do. But it does take work. Let me know if I can help you out anymore. I know there are people on TikTok, in addition to me, who have done a lot more shadow work prompts. I did my own inventory when I was in my marriage, especially around embedded, like internalized white supremacy that I got from my family. I had a legal pad and I just wrote a bunch of fucking questions down the same way I did the daily decolonizing prompts for the collective. These are those questions right here. You know, you can write down questions however you choose, type them up, whatever. Don't have to answer them all at once. I would actually suggest not doing that. Make sure that you stay, again, make sure you stay, keep your light about you. There's no rush. You don't need to rush through this process, because once you do the initial shadow work of whatever has been buried up until this point in your life, then as you move forward, you acknowledge your darkness. You acknowledge it as it's happening, and you don't have all this gunk that you still have to work through. It's just going to be like situation based, right? You have a weird situation, you're going to reflect. It's going to become second nature to do that. It's coming into consciousness. It's a different way of existing than most folks. I know I don't like the generalization of most, but it is true. If more people were consciously aware of the things that they did and why, the world would not look like this. So, I hope that helps. I felt called to do this. I'm going to go take a shower, chill out. I had a hard day of kind of facing more shadows that, yeah, I'm good. I hope you're good. And congratulations. And again, committing to this work of integration is really fucking awesome. And you are, by doing this, by going through Dark Night of the Soul, you are going to automatically take on a leadership role for the rest of the collective, who hasn't yet done that. You're going to show up differently in the world. People are going to notice. People are going to be intrigued or annoyed. Either way, that's their shadow, not yours. And again, it's all about having that ripple effect so that we lead by example. We are the change we wish to see. And that does take work initially. So let me know if you need any support, want someone to walk with. I'm here. But again, there's lots of resources about these things already. So have a good one.